Yeah, we're on.
Hello, we're live. Yes. Welcome to the Reseller Ladies. We've gone live today, first one of 2019. We've got a good lineup for you. We have Andrea Hills, we have Lex Oliver, we have Kelly, we have Karen, and we have Shel Staruni. Quite a lineup today. Don't know if anyone else is going to drop in, but that's quite a party. Topic for today is fairly fluid because I don't do planned, as you probably worked out by now, a bit random. So I thought we can start off with what we're doing, what our plans are for 2019, and then we'll move on to a bit of the psychology of eBay, which I think will prove quite interesting. Does your mental state affect your sales? No algorithm can factor that in, can it? But let's start off with just how you feel about 2019, how you see it going, what's happening. Now, I haven't got the chat up because I'm stupid and I don't know how to bring the chat up. So I might put it on the phone. So if you see me looking down, that's what will happen. But I'd like to start with who's first in my lineup here. I've got Andrea first in my lineup.
I don't even know what you were talking about before I dropped in. So
well, Andrea, you're not getting out of it. I was relieved it wasn't me starting. So
Oh, all right. I'll bring Andrew a little bit up to speed. It's really about what your hopes are for 2019, business-wise, and otherwise, if necessary. Just what your plans are, really, what you see happening for eBay and your reselling business.
I don't know. We haven't really got any sort of major plans. Just a lot of the same. A few things we've changed as we started doing weekly vlogs. So we started that this week. We've been filming. As far as the business goes, just carrying on as we were going. Yeah, nothing major changes.
If it's not broke, there's no need to fix it, is there, Andrea?
Exactly.
Just keep going as you are.
And all this new year, new me. It's new year, same me. Completely. I'm exactly the same as I was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Better.
Well, yeah, one hopes.
Better.
Yeah.
I've realised I do goals on Insta, so I could spout those out if you like.
Go for it, Shelley. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, like eBay, it was like get to 1,000 decent quality listings again, because I got to 1,000 before, but if half of it's dross, then what's the point? And on there was not to overwhelm myself, but also not to underwhelm myself, because it's a tricky balance for me of like, it's just a tricky balance. Let's just say that. And to do like the Fitbit, I love this Fitbit, but I can't, in the winter, I can't do 10,000 steps. That's just the way it is. So like just to do a minimum 7,000 steps, I think will help hopefully with my mental health, as well as, health generally. And find this was a bit inspired by being on holiday, so it's not quite the same. I wanted to find a stretchy class. Might be Pilates. And in fact, I think I found one, which I'm going to go and try next week.
Stretchy class.
I don't know what one until I find it, because I don't want to be on my knees, because I know with some of the yoga I did on holiday, is it the sun worshipping one or the dog one, and you're on your knees, and that wasn't good for me. But I want to do the stretches because I really love that. I think that was all on my list, actually. Yeah. Anyone else?
Andrea was saying that she's done a yoga video off YouTube, so maybe she could give you a link and you could get some.
Yeah, the one I did.
Give that a go.
The one I did was quite a lot on my knees, though.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are many others. But
I've got knee issues. If anybody finds one where you stand on one leg, that's the one I want. When you do things on one leg, that's what I like.
Yeah,
you can stand on one leg and do a tree posture. I mean, I go to yoga. I've done it for many, many years. There are ways of working where you don't have to put your weight on your knees, but it's we'll have to have a chat about it.
I want non-knee yoga, ideally.
Yeah, I'll send you the link for the woman that I was following, because she was very easy to follow, and
cool.
She has a variety of stuff on there. So.
Oh yeah.
And then when you perfect it, Shelley, you can do a YouTube tutorial for all of us, and we'll get us all together, like doing yoga together live.
That would be great fun.
I was just about to say, isn't Indie Chick a registered yoga?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
She is, isn't she?
She doesn't do like online stuff, does she? She does proper class stuff.
Yeah, but she was on about doing something in the new year for yoga at your desk, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to get onto her.
Yeah, you can do chair yoga. You can do yoga where you're sitting.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of books on it because one of my teachers used to teach it for people who are quite old or immobile. So yeah.
Is there anyone in the live chat, or have I got the wrong thing?
No, I've got some chat here.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's people, yeah.
And I
Say
hello.
hello.
I'll say hello to a few people. We've got Scooby Shaggy, Gemma Lou, Flipping Fantastic Finds. Oh, you're in there. Sorry. Mum of 5 sons, bravery extraordinary, just that name. Anne Isaac, possibly Nick, I think. Nick may be...
yeah, it's not me.
Anne Isaac, we've got George Ross, Alison Benson, Claire Riley, Steve, our favourite Steve. So everyone's here. And Becca Fediuk, I hope I said that right. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you for joining us. Do keep your comments because I've got them on here so I can see. So shall we move on to, would someone else like to say what their plans are? How about Lex Oliver?
Oh, hello. Okay. My plans for this year then, I suppose it's more kind of experience orientated rather than actual planning. So there's things that I want to do this year because I turned 40 in July. And so things like I want to save up for New York, I want to pay off my credit card, stuff like that, which obviously eBay can help me with because that's kind of the idea. I have another job that pays for the bills and all the boring stuff, and eBay can help me have fun, which is great. What I find as well is if I set myself strict targets and, you know, I've got to list however many a day or, you know, things like that, I tend to rebel against myself because, you know, then I am the man, so I have to rebel against the man, which is me. And I'm terrible like that. And I will fight against my own targets and go, screw you, I'm not doing them. Really like that.
Rebel.
Yeah, too much of it. I rebel against myself.
I'm sort of bad in another way, that I'm like a flipping hamster. And once I had to really struggle with doing my target for eBay because I thought once I set it, so I was going to do it as like max my listings as 1,500, but once I set it, I'll kill myself to achieve it.
Yeah.
I'll just go, oh yeah, I'll keep going. It's like, even though it's killing me. So.
Two very different approaches, I think.
Yeah.
Mine from any angle, I would say I'm more the Lex way in that I don't set myself targets precisely because I know what will happen and there's no point.
Yeah, Lex always wanted me to set targets and I'm really not good at it. I'm a bit the same actually in a way that I kind of rebel against myself and I end up procrastinating more. Whereas if I just say I'm just going to get on with stuff, then I just do it. You know?
Do you find as well, Andrea, that and Heather, that you kind of begrudge doing it then? If you're told if you've told yourself you've got to do 10, then you either feel guilty for not doing 10 or you hate the fact that you've done them.
Yeah. I feel guilty all the time.
Yeah.
If I don't achieve as what I've told myself I need to achieve. And then I feel really rubbish. And that's not why I'm working for myself.
Exactly.
Do you know what though? The one target I did like that you set, Shelley, you never said, was the one about cutting off working when the kids get in from school. So you've given yourself there a cut-off time to finish working. Because like you, I think it's very easy to get on the hamster wheel, keep going, must get to this, must get to this, must get to this. And before you know it, it's 11 o'clock at night and you're killing yourself.
Yeah. You're very like me, Karen, for that. I think we must both be task oriented.
Yeah.
The numbers and ticks, and some people aren't tick, you know, oriented.
Yeah.
It's interesting what Carla Jenkins is doing at the moment as well. She's trialing doing blocks of time. So almost like a timetabling her day. So it'll be, you know, 10 until 12, she does photography. And if she hasn't finished her photography by 12 o'clock, well, then that doesn't matter, because then it's lunchtime and she has to go and have lunch. So there's that. I think the blocking of the time thing would be really useful, because then you don't feel guilty about stopping. It's like, well, I've done 2 hours, therefore I stop.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Something that I can get my mind around as well is that, rather than doing, I have to do this in a day, because I will spend all day doing it then, and punish yourself for it.
Yeah.
That was what was that Hugh Grant film when he didn't work, but he used to have, he said that the days made up.
About a boy.
What was it? About
a boy.
Yes, and he had units, and like, well, this unit is I'm getting my hair cut, and this unit is I'm watching a film. And I do like that.
Yeah, because then you don't feel guilty about spending 2 hours watching a film.
Yeah.
Because you timetabled it.
Yeah.
So why not?
So Karen, how do you do it? What do you plan?
My plans for this year, let's go on. I've got all these big plans in my head, and already because the sales are rubbish. Well, I had good sales last night in the end, but yeah, I mean, like everyone, you get ups and downs, don't you, in selling? But yeah, it's to list 10 items a day, and I'm already mucking that one up because I'm about 40 behind already. But I've not got anything left to list. You know, I've run out of stuff to list, so I need to go out sourcing again. To get my average selling price up to £15, which I'm actually slowly getting there because I've got quite a lot on there that's 15 and above. I've still got a lot of drops to get rid of. And the big one is to get the unit, which I'm not getting till March, but I'll be getting a unit to get it all out flat.
Karen, can you know, with your 10 a day, can you, you know, say if you only do 7 that day because you've only got 7 items, can you say, right, that's the end that day, the next day is a new day and we're on 10 again, like we start for 10, rather than roll it over and say I'm 40 behind?
No, because I've got to get 310 listings on this month, Shelley. Do you not understand this?
Harder. Such a slacker, Karen.
Yeah, that's my issue as well. That's my issue, because if I say I'm going to do 10 a day, or I'm going to do 10 or so many in a week, if I've only done 7 on that day, I'm exactly the same, and then I start beating myself up, and then I feel really crap. So that's why I try really hard not to say I'm going to do that amount, and I just try and do as much as I can do.
And yet on the other side of the coin, I'm so relaxed about things that I just hardly get anything done some days, and I don't worry about it.
Far too relaxed, is that the idea? Oh, and Nick has told us that we're being far too interesting and we're distracting him.
And I think sometimes also, I mean, like I said, 10 a day, probably next month I'm going to go to 5 a day, because I think 10's too much. With having to source it all as well. Might be different when the boot sales start back up, but at the moment it's just too much. Even with the car, there's not enough hours in the day while the kids are at school to be going out finding it all, and to be coming back and to be listing it all. But I find if I don't have that target, I will keep going and going and going and feel like I've got nothing done. So whereas some of you might say I'll be really laid back about it, I'd go to the other end of the extreme. I mean, when I was doing the craft supplies, because I was getting in such big bulk, I could easily get up at 6:30 in the morning, work until I had to take the kids to school, literally get dressed, take them to school, come back, work, go and pick them up, come back, work, and wouldn't stop working until 11 o'clock at night. So I have to have them targets in to stop me from working.
Right. Wow.
Very different.
Stop me from work. Can stop me from working. If that makes sense.
Karen, if you're trying to do 10 a day, what are you looking for at the end of the year then?
I don't know that, because I don't contradict each other.
There's no end point.
I want to maintain between 800 and 1,000 listings and still list 10 a day. Basically, I want to find stuff that's going to sell straight away.
You're going to end up with like infinity listings, aren't you?
I know.
We got quite an interesting comment here in the chat from Anne Isaac, and she said she thinks it's better to promise yourself you list a certain value per day, which is interesting. If you think I'm going to list £100 worth or £200 worth of items rather than a number of new listings, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that, so thanks for that, Anne. consider it.
And that might get you to source the items that have got a better return for you as well. Push you to get those like £100, £50 items. So then you only have to list 1 or 2 items a day. That would be great, wouldn't it?
I think the problem you might have with that is if you've got a big backlog. I mean, I think you're the same as me, Shelley. You list it and you buy it, then you list it.
Yeah.
You haven't got the backlog. But I think if you've got the big backlog, the danger is you will go for the higher end stuff and the lower value stuff will work its way down and down and down until you've got to do 10 listings a day because that's all you've got left. So I think if you work your way methodically through it, like pull out a bag and you do that bag before you pull out the next bag, I think then it would work. But if you've got a backlog, it could be a bit dangerous.
I think Corey did a lucky bag method, didn't she? Where she had a random bags and she picked a number every day, and it was a mixture of all different items.
Yeah.
But she still didn't do the cameras from it, though, did she?
No, she didn't.
I don't think she even put them in a bag. Bless her. She'll get round to it.
She will.
That the listing on a value basis, bizarrely, when I was listing for a charity, that's how I worked, because I thought, well, I'm going to cost them this much, so need that, plus I want, at least 100% more listed a day, and that's how I used to work. But then when now working for myself, I don't work like that. I don't know if that's something to do with us not valuing our time properly.
I think there's a big thing about that our time and energy that we put into it, sometimes we just don't consider that to be an important resource.
I find as well first the items that we find more exciting as well.
Yeah.
Like our favorite things, not necessarily the high value ones, but ones that you go like, oh, that's going to look really good on the mannequin. Can't wait to see it. Rather than a pair of trousers, it's like, oh, I've got to flat lay that on the floor. That looks really boring. Can't be bothered.
Yeah, I definitely do that. I pick out the bits that I like the best first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not got the death pile, so I just photo it as I get it. I just literally work through the bags as I get them in. So
I've got no death pile now because I donated it.
That's one way to deal with a death pile.
Yay.
There's different methods of how people run their weeks coming in. So some will, let's have a look. George has set days for his tasks. So Monday is wrapping and charity shop sourcing, for example. And Tuesday is to clean and test items and so on and so forth. Do any of you work like that, or do you bit and bob a little bit of everything every day? Packing, listing, photographing, all in the same day, or do you have set days?
I don't have set days. I do tend to like to have a decent run at something. So if I'm going to do the photography, I want to have a lot of stuff to photograph to make it worth doing. Then I upload a lot, then I draft a lot, and then I hold the drafts and bang out 5 a day new ones. And I've got set days. I'll go to my flea market or I'll do a charity shop run, but they're not absolutely set in stone. It will vary because my mood changes.
Yeah. I mean, Tuesdays I tend to try and keep eBay free because I do a toddler group in the morning and then in the evening I also do a youth group. So basically I have the afternoon and that is it. So what I'm doing now, because I'm really rock and roll, is I do the housework on a Tuesday afternoon. That's proper housework, not just washing up and that I was doing on your Instagram story earlier. Shelley. But yeah, that's what I try and do then, because I'm a real rock and roll lifestyle here.
We need to separate Karen from the housework somehow. You're always
washing up.
Yeah, I decided to reward myself, and as of next Monday, I've actually got a cleaner coming in 2 hours a week.
Yay.
Oh, I'm excited for you, Heather.
Yeah. I hate housework anyway, and this helps. It'll make me tidier because the poor cow has got to work around my house and all my clutter. But it's motivation. It's like I'm paying myself back with something really valuable from my eBay earnings, and for me, that's a real treat.
Total.
That is a treat. Fantastic.
Yeah. But we've got somebody who comes in. Oh my God! Like I said, I'd go without shoes before we say goodbye to her. Like it's so nice. Yeah.
I've never liked the idea of having somebody going around my house, and like I don't know, it just feels weird having a stranger in my house.
Do you know what? I'd be one of these weird people that would pay for a cleaner and clean everywhere before they got it because it's too dirty for them.
You're like my stepmother.
I tidy up, and in fact, I've hidden, like, if like the dishwasher's full, I hide stuff in the oven because. So I'm like, well, I don't want it to wash up. I want to do all the clean things with the bleachers and the sprays and stuff I don't want to do.
What if you decided to clean your oven?
You what?
What if she decided to clean your oven?
I don't get to clean the oven. We've had those people come in before, you know, that use really acidic stuff.
Mm.
But well, sometimes I send Tom in there if it's really bad. I don't get involved with stuff like that.
For me, it's more like having the bathrooms. We've got 2 bathrooms, two showers and a bath. And just to keep those in line is a good thing. And the bit around the kitchen, the hoovering. Everything else I don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even mind hoovering, but it's the stuff where you're spraying and bleaching and scrubbing. It's not.
Your face. Brilliant.
It's going to be loads of thumbs down now, isn't that? I just don't enjoy it.
Why would you? Just because we're female doesn't mean we enjoy these things.
No.
Oh, dear. I like, who was it who's put that? Let's have a look. Alison Benson put, I do a bit of everything every day, otherwise I'll become brain dead. And I think that's quite true to a point. You know, like you see quite a few of them they do this on this day, they do this on that day. Part of the joy of being self-employed is we don't have to do it on a set day.
Yeah. Or we might become a robot.
Yeah. God.
That's
I was in that yesterday. We're all old and decrepit, you lot, other than you, Lex, because you're only 39.
Only.
We've got Sue, darling Sue. Sue's passed shame in the chat there. So hello, Sue. Our favourite Sue.
Actually, Gemma Lou's putting it. Ovens are self-cleaning, surely. Do you know what? They do actually do self-cleaning ovens now. I keep telling my husband to buy me one.
Yeah, but there's still like, it doesn't self-clean its shelves and stuff, I don't think.
No.
So it's a fallacy.
I think George Ross is looking for a
Man bashing.
George, naughty step now.
Right, George, when you or any other man can earn enough to keep me in a lifestyle where I wouldn't have to worry about not working, or where I could just go away whenever I wanted and go to the spa every day while the kids are at school, and have a nanny and an au pair and a cleaner, then come back to me.
Well, I can add to that, George. Even if you can come and keep us into, the life to which we want, I'm still not scrubbing and cleaning, and I'm still going to whine. So,
George, if you can pay my hourly rate, we've got a deal.
Let's scrub and clean. What will you be wearing to scrub and clean, Lex?
Oh dear.
I'll send you the link to my website and you can find out, Shelley.
Yeah, George follows that up. George follows that up by saying that he's the housewife in his house.
Oh, well, good for you then. It was just stirring.
Oh, Steve's happy now. He's had a bit of man bashing.
That's it. We're done.
Our job is done.
Oh God. Oh dear.
So back to the subject of what we do like each day then. Today, Friday, is my eBay day because I work in t'other job like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Friday is my main. I'm going to photograph and list everything on a Friday and sometimes a Saturday. I do the post like every other day and a quick look around the shops if I got time. But today is my big eBay day. And here I am doing this. Way.
Distracting.
Exactly. It's great. Because why not?
Yeah, I do think maybe if you do have another job, like Steve was saying, he's got to have targets. He has to do this much and this much and this much every day. I think if you have another job, I think you have to have a very sensible routine in place that you can stick to, because otherwise it isn't going to work.
Yeah, I guess more structure is needed.
I can't do structure.
Yeah, me neither. Oh, Now, moving on to a slightly different area, we do discuss about mental health and trying to stay sane doing this crazy job, but does it affect your eBay sales if you go into a downward spiral? Does it give you problems with your eBay? How does it work for you? Who should I pick first? Kelly.
Is Kelly listening?
I am listening.
All right.
I'm here.
You're still there?
Yeah. Why did you pick me, Heather?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear it.
I'm so professional. I'm so sorry.
I didn't hear my name. Sorry. I was waiting for you to say somebody else.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it depends. It depends how bad things get for me. I mean, if it's really bad, then I tend to get nothing at all done. No cleaning. I just take time out for myself, whatever that may be. So, what's behind you there, Andrea? I keep seeing some arms moving like wings. Oh, there we go.
It's a ghost.
Hello, Nick.
Yellow jacket.
Yeah, and if I'm just feeling a little bit down, then I'll work on things that I found easy. So photography I find easy. I'll do my photographs and things like that, and do the easier jobs. Listing, I've said before, I find listing difficult, so I've got to leave that for when I'm feeling right up for some harder work out of the reselling jobs that we have. So yeah, but having said that, at the minute I'm not really doing a lot of anything. So because I'm full of cold, got other health issues going on, so I'm just taking time out for myself. So yeah, and when I do get back started, my whole routine is going to be changing. So I'm going to move most of my work back down the shed because I find I work better being cut off from the house. Get more done.
God, Kelly, you're so laid back. I don't know what is going to happen when you're at full health. Because you're already like, oh, I don't mind anything. Yeah, just ignore it.
Only because I used to stress so much about things in the past, and it don't get you anywhere. So why stress about something that you can't change? If you can't change it, don't worry about it. It's nothing. No amount of worrying is going to change it, is it?
It's good if you can get that lodged in, but I could tell myself that. But you know, on days when you're like, I can tell myself stuff and I can do all the CBT to myself, but I still feel shit and I'm still worrying and I can't stop it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When you get
don't get me wrong. Sometimes I think I lean too far on the relaxed side of things, and I wish I could be more like listing and manic, and maybe I would. Like a bit. Yeah, like you and Karen. You always seem to be on it to me. So yeah, I wish I could be a little bit more like that sometimes, but I don't beat myself up about it if I don't get anything done in a day.
You have to kind of get your energy in the right place, I think, and so much energy is taken with beating ourselves up. It's actually energy that possibly could be better used just for that, doing those little things that make the day go a bit better, or something actually to accomplish something, however small, which is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just thinking about, because the other day I just went on to Insta and had a total rant. I was still in bed. I was like in my onesie and I'm like, I don't even care. I don't know. I felt like Insta's like therapy for me. So I thought I'll just get this all off my chest. And then some friends, including Kelly, messaged me, which was really good, and gave me some advice as well. And one was to kind of have a reset day and try not to push myself too hard and just, I don't have so much. I mean, I'm sure I would have come out of it a bit anyway, but it helped me so much to like take a step back and get off the hamster wheel for a bit. Yeah. And
the thing is,
Anne's just said in the chat that I swear that getting cancer was partly due to worrying and stressing about stuff. It's well worth avoiding stress if you can. Do you know what I mean? And and making your life as chilled out as it possibly can be. There's plenty of things that will stress you out. I'm not chilled about everything. I do get road rage now and again when I'm driving and them sort of things. I'm not totally hippy dippy, wonderfully chilled out all the time, but it's just choosing what things that to let bother you, let take your attention, if you understand what I mean.
Have you always been like that though, Kelly?
No, I've just said I used to be totally opposite, stressing about everything and anxiety about everything and second guessing everything that I was even thinking. So I had to change. I didn't have no choice. I had to change. I got to the point where it was getting dangerous. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I had to make a change, and it's not easy when you're used to thinking that way. But yeah, I mean, like I say, if you can just chill out a little bit and realise that you can't control everything and everybody around you as much as you'd like to.
God, I'd love to.
That is the thing, isn't it? Where we worry about so many things, and the stuff that we can do something about, okay, fine, but it's the stuff that we absolutely have no control about. And actually even eBay comes under that heading. It's things like, you know, we can't control the number of sales we get. All we can control is perhaps what we put into it and having the right intention and actually trying to be consistent and trying to work smartly. But we can't control whether some bastard presses the button at the other end. We just can't control that.
No. I mean, as I've said, you know, my sales, I mean, they picked up yesterday. I've had quite a good day yesterday, and today's looking okay at the moment. Before then, they were dire. But the stuff that we're selling is stuff that I've had listed 6 to 12 months. So it's not that you won't sell. Once you've got it listed, that's your work done as such. You can't do anything else. It's trying to, and it's really hard to do, but it's trying to get into that mindset of that. Though it's not sold, it's sold. Does that make sense? So your work is done. That is an investment in your time. And once that sells, you'll get that investment back, and it will get back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm not pulling any old stock to sell off. I'll sell it cheap, but I'm not taking it off and making new listings of things. I've already done all of that. They can sit there forever in my garage in a tiny space. That's fine. It'll sell eventually.
I think the hardest part for me is getting it all on eBay. Once it's on there, I don't worry about it.
Do you worry about like when you're not because when I get a cha-ching in the evening, it doesn't matter what, I always go, oh, cha-ching, you know, and it always just perks me up. And the same if I'm not getting any and it's like tumbleweeds, it really pisses me off. It does affect my mood, which is terrible. But does it affect your mood when you get a cha-ching or you're not getting them?
Who, me?
Yeah, well, or anybody, but
sorry, the sound keeps cutting out slightly, and I'm not getting the full sentences. I'm sorry. I think it's
I was wondering about you, Kelly. You're so laid back.
Don't get the idea that I'm so laid back. I'm not, but I just certain things I don't get stressed about. For me, I don't know if I'm not getting those sales, then I know Karen gets quite upset about it, don't you, Karen?
Oh, stressed to the eyeballs, yes.
Yeah, and one question: are you doing some? Is it your postage? Is it this? Is it that?
Yeah.
I don't stress about that. No, it's up there. They're either going to buy it or they're not. And I will try different things if I keep relisting it and it's not selling, like changing titles and them sort of things. But no, not really. Once the biggest problem I have is actually getting it up on there. Is getting it up for sale.
Yeah,
actually listing the stuff does seem to be where the hard work is. We all love sourcing, we love the hunt. The thing is, if it's not actually listed, it can't sell. However gorgeous it is, if it ain't up there, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that doesn't mind listing then?
I like listing.
Am I a freak?
I like listing.
I really don't mind.
Electronics, I don't pick them up. The only thing I don't like listing is electronics. I just do not pick them up. Other than that, I like it. I like photoing it. I like listing it. I like sorting it. I'm just a bit weird on that one. To be honest, I'd love it if someone would go out sourcing for me, because I find it such a brain on time. Yeah.
No. That's the best bit.
Oh, I'd be happy.
Oh,
That's why.
best bit.
Yeah, to be fair, Karen, though, that's why you did the bulk buying before, wasn't it? And you said, I haven't got time to go sourcing, and that's why you used to do it.
Yeah.
But then I think we both still, even though we're like, want to go for high value stuff, we're still expecting to get the same amount of numbers of bulk of it, which is not probably possible without killing ourselves. Because I was banging on Insta earlier about, Chatty Pete was saying, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And if you go more like that you're searching for something rather than, oh, I need armfuls of stuff, then I think it's slightly easier. But we're like saying, I need 10 a day. Do you need 10 a day though? Or could it be, maybe it should be less if your values are so much higher now?
Yes, but then I start feeling lazy. We've spoken about this.
You are lazy, Karen.
And Karen has got to be one of the least lazy people I know. It's like phenomenal. And Shelley as well. I can be lazy. I can also be very hardworking, but from one day to the next, that can be different.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like that, Heather. I mean, my energy levels have been low, and they've been low recently for a while. But it's just recognizing that and not beating myself up. But I also have periods where I don't stop. I haven't had them for a long time. That's granted. But I'm a bit the same. If I'm feeling hypo, as I put it, then I can get loads done in a day. All sorts: cleaning, listing, shopping, sorting, burying the kids out, cooking dinner, and it doesn't faze me one bit. But then the other side of that is some days I have the low energy days, where I don't feel like doing anything, so I don't.
Well, of course, that's the perk for all of us, isn't it? That, you feel rubbish, or if it's mood or energy or whichever way it is, then that's, I know that, like in the chat, they're talking about being able to control their work and that helping with stress. And so the other day when somebody said take a day back, just like take it easy, and it did help me. But you couldn't just do that in a normal job. You just have to go, oh shit, I've just got to throw myself in and put on a smile, and but I was able to do that. Just
the thing is also you're able to do that, Shelley, because you've put the work in. Because you've put the work in, you could probably do that a couple of times a week and you'd be absolutely fine, because you've got the number of listings at the moment.
Ka-ching!
Sorry.
Now, somewhere called you as a male.
Woo! It's old.
I didn't even hear that. Who's cha-ching?
Oh, mine's on silent. So mine doesn't actually cha-ching, but it was me. It vibrates. I normally keep my phone right there, like in my bra. So when I get stale, I get a little bit of a, oh, hello.
Have you got a special tassel, that phone holder tassel?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it,
magnetic.
I will make one. There you go. There's the payment. Thank you very much.
Gemma Lou wants a whole chat. Sorry, Lex. Go on.
No, you carry on.
Gemma Lou was just saying she wants a whole chat on managing stress, please. She's requested.
I can see it's a very important one, and I think we always are going to return to it, because stress is such a big waste of time and energy in a way. It really does drain your resources to actually get on and do what we need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I must admit, one target I do not have, and I've never set a target of it, is a financial target of earning, because that is out of your control. I think you can list £10,000 worth of items on eBay, but it doesn't mean you're going to sell even half of it or a tenth of it that month. So I never set, because I think that can cause such unnecessary stress. If you're so target driven, you're just lining yourself up for a fall.
Yeah, that would always be a big worry. I mean, when you're doing when you're on eBay and it's basically telling me that I've got nearly £30,000 worth of stock listed, and I'm like, I wish somebody would fucking sell.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that I'd watch, as if one day you woke up and that had sold. I'd be like happy as Larry.
I
Was that
think
the
because
F-bomb, Heather?
Sorry?
Was that the F-bomb from Heather?
Oh, sorry. Was it me? Apologies.
I don't know if I heard it. Sorry, go on, Andrea.
no, I was just going to say, I think because I work with Nick, he shares that sort of takes the stress off me. So I don't stress so much about work. I stress more about personal things and family stuff and, you know, getting other stuff done. And I kind of leave him to worry about, you know, some of the more stressful business stuff. So apart from beating myself up because I don't achieve enough, the other sort of technical parts about the business I share with Nick. So if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I let him carry that, I suppose. So that really helps when you're working with a partner.
It must make a massive difference, to be honest. I mean, working solo as I do in this, you do kind of think, oh, is it just me that chews over all of this stuff and is trying to think up new ways of doing things, trying to work smarter, not harder, and all that rubbish. And then the taxman comes along and goes, right, we're having all of that. It's like, yeah, lovely. But you can't do anything about it.
No, not at all. You think you can have such a healthy bank balance after Christmas. It's really lovely. And you think, yeah, look all this money in the bank. And then most of it's gone by the end of the month. Because then you realise how much you have to actually give out in tax and think, oh, yeah.
Can I just ask, I'm not at the tax level yet. I'm at the national insurance. I was saying today, I'm just at the national insurance. But I reckon if it goes the way I want it to go, next year I'll be at the tax level. Do you put money away in a separate bank account, or are you just really good at keeping hold of it? It's just a question, just for when the tax bill comes.
To anyone in particular, or
anyone that pays tax doing this?
We don't put money away, but
You don't?
not specifically for tax, no.
I have done for 17/18. I will be paying tax, and I've just found out quite how much it might be, which is a bit of a shock. But I have actually got I have a savings account, and that's basically it'll come out of there, so it's already paid for in a way. But it's still not nice.
I'm not paying tax yet. I'm not at that level, but when I do get there, I'll open a separate bank account and put it in there. I couldn't have it in my safe because I'd lose track. I need to keep things separate. So yeah, I put it in a separate bank account. A little bit every month of sales, I'd put some away just to plan for it, because there's nothing worse than getting hit with any sort of big bill, never mind a tax bill, if you're not expecting it.
Well, exactly. Plus, what they seem to do is they tell you how much tax you actually owe, but then they want almost double the first year you start paying tax. So,
well, they do every year because they want you to pay ahead of time all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a real shock the first year you do it, because I'm thinking, yeah, about £2,000 of tax. Turns out it's going to be about £4,000.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now I'm getting stressed about tax.
Have you done your accounts yet, Lex?
No.
No. 1st of January, 11:59 p.m. Submit.
Pretty much. Pretty much. No, I'm gonna do. I've only got up until was it April of this year, so I've only got to actually do 4 months worth, of which I've done 1 month really. And because everything goes in and out of my PayPal account anyway, I've got all of the records, so it's just a matter of compiling it all. So it's not going to be too much of a headache job. I say now. How wrong
Come
am I
back
gonna
to you.
Yeah, exactly. And I shouldn't be paying tax on that for the most of the last year. I was PAYE on my regular job anyway, and I also just don't think I earned enough in that year to pay tax anyway, like even from both jobs. So should be okay, fingers crossed. But yeah, come back to me at the end of the month and we'll see.
All right. 11:59 p.m. I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I always think the most useful way to look at how you're doing is to, I try and go and look at where I was this time last year and just sort of get an idea and see, is it improving? Is my average sale price going up? Have I got more transactions? Have I actually got more money coming in than what I did this time last year? And it doesn't happen over every month, but if you look over a year, you know, all I'm looking for is some gradual improvement.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It's, if you can get to that first year and do that first year of reselling or whatever, you are self-employed, the only person you should compare yourself to is yourself, what you was doing last year. And as long as you are growing and as long as your profit is increasing, then that's the main thing.
On the growing front, though, I mean, obviously, you're going to reach a limit at some point. I bet you don't do this, actually, Heather. I was about to say, because you're saying, well, as long as I'm growing, but have you got a level where you're like, actually, that will be enough? I'll maintain then. I don't need to grow past that.
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure. I'd like to grow some more, but my limits are more likely to be space and time as opposed to how much money I can earn. I don't think I'm ever going to be VAT registered, let's put it that way. Yeah. I don't see that ever happening.
And that would be hard work if you get to that level. I don't want to do too hard work. But I wonder, sometimes I really think about, God, when do we decide it's enough, you know? Well, for me, because I'm a bit like Karen, needing the limits of like, freaking, is this enough yet? You know, stop.
Yeah. That was my big concern about getting a unit, because I know I can build up and up and up and up and up, and it's like, then when do I stop? When I'm killed over and killed myself and too much work? I don't know.
Yeah.
Nick's just said in the chat, we don't try to grow. We aim to be comfortable. That's our goal. Stress-free and comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I would concur with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't want to be a millionaire. I don't want to be one of these people that's on the YouTube you see before. You know, these YouTube you see before, don't you? Of, you know, you could have a 6-figure salary within a week of doing this. Look at my course. I don't want that. I don't want that. My dad passed away at the age of 54. You know, he was young when he died, and he lived by the motto of you work, you don't work, you live to work. And that is what I try to do, because I want to be there for my kids. You know.
Yeah, I think people want different things out of life, so that depends on. With that in mind, that depends how much work you're prepared to put in, doesn't it? I mean, some people do want that champagne lifestyle, and they're prepared to work for it, which is the difference. Lex has put her hand up.
Yeah, I want the champagne lifestyle, but I don't want to have to work for it. I want it to be.
Lex don't have to do anything, Lex. Follow through for these.
Yeah.
Hey,
Daddy, I want someone else to pay for it.
Yeah, Lex is happy to scrub for the right money.
Totally. I'll do anything.
No, you live the gin lifestyle, Lex, not champagne overrated.
Yeah, no, true. I actually don't like champagne that much. Yeah, give me the gin lifestyle. I'd be happy for sure.
And then the thing is when you get there, is that, and you turn around and find that's not really what you want. It's not satisfied you. You want more, or it's totally different to what you expected it to be. It's finding what you're happy with, isn't it? So
I think it would be a lovely luxury to have in life, to be a millionaire and be bored with all that money. I wouldn't mind that problem.
But then would a millionaire not be enough, and you'd need to be a billionaire?
There's plenty of them about, Lex.
Find me one.
They're not that rare.
I think it's just to find a way to be happy and to have enough, and knowing what is enough and what you're prepared to give in order to get it. If it's too big a sacrifice, maybe it's not the right thing. Maybe I've got enough. I'm not bothered. I'm not starving. I've got a home. I'm happy. So it's not driven by need. It's driven by the fact I actually quite like it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Where I didn't want to be overwhelmed, but not underwhelmed. I want to achieve stuff just for my own self-esteem. But this, I don't know if this is relevant or not. Well, I think it's relevant in my mind. But you know, when people talk about, oh, if you won the lottery, and so my daughter, who's 13, was saying, oh, if I won the lottery, I'd buy a house and then I'd give the rest away. And my husband said, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You should, you know, because you won't want to work for the rest of your life. So you need to make sure, you know, you've got enough for that. And I mean, obviously she's not been to work yet, but she was like, no, because I want to work. I'll want to go out and do that. A house is fine. And I'll give the rest to other people. And I thought, you know how you lose some stuff, ideals from when you're a kid or a teenager. And I think I was so much more idealistic, and you get I don't know if work thumps it out of you or what, but you definitely lose sight of, I don't know, your ideals. And I always wonder, well, what is enough? When do you say, oh, it's enough now? At the same time as achieving, obviously, it's not going to be easy. It's a tricky balance for me.
I just want to read Anne's comments. It's really lovely. It says, I'm so lucky. I know what I want, and it's pretty much what I've got. We've got very little, but it's plenty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I would generally be quite happy. I am quite happy. I've got a nice house and I've got my cats and everything. And that's why I don't work ridiculously hard in my life, because actually this is kind of all right, really.
yeah.
But a few more holidays would be nice.
The thing I like best with reselling for me is the fact that I'm doing something that I'm never bored. It's never the same. And it keeps my mind ticking over. The fact that I'm doing something I know I'm good at, finding stuff. It's kind of like, it's almost like a life's mission. I just like finding things and I get paid to do it. So, yeah.
I had a woman look really strangely at me in a charity shop the other day, because I was looking in the jewellery cabinet thing, and she said, oh, sorry, it's a bit of a mess in there, because the lady that sorts it out, that tidies it up, she hasn't been in. And I was like, oh, it's all right. I quite like it like that, because I like to sort of, have a bit of a hunt. And she looked at me like, what? Like, no, I like it like that. Like, I like the challenge. So,
like a good rummage.
Yeah. She just thought, oh. Yeah, I'm odd. But actually, no, because Heather, you just said the same thing. I think that was the point.
We're all odd. We're all very, very, very strange.
It's true. So true.
The best people are.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think you can be so busy, you can be chasing it, and fine, if that is what you want, that is what you want. But then you're going to wake up one day, and you've got the risk of being very old, very lonely, and nothing but materialistic stuff. And that's not what I want. I'd rather have not a pot to pee in and a happy home life. Does that make sense though? Yeah, I'd rather have nothing but everything.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And we're not going to food banks or anything like that. It's nothing, like that. But
in a way, we've all got everything, if you know what I mean. Like the other day when I was having my rant, and one of the things a friend said was, oh no, what did I say? I said on a message, like, I know I'm a spoiled bitch, that I can, somebody could say, oh, you've got everything, why are you anxious? And she said, don't add guilt to it, for goodness sake. I'm like, oh God, yeah. Like, it's luxurious, really, the lifestyle we're living, for all of us.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no rhyme or reason to anxiety, is there?
No.
It's not
logical.
No,
yeah.
I mean, over Christmas, I suffered with it a bit, and New Year's Eve, I walked in. I was feeling a bit during the day, but trying to sort of swallow it down. And I walked into my sister-in-law's, Nick's sister's living room, and it was just full of people. And I just suddenly had to walk out, and I burst out crying, and there was no reason for it. Nick was saying, "What's wrong?" I said, "I can't tell you. I can't feel really anxious, and I can't tell you why."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem logical.
There's no logic to it. There's no rhyme or reason.
It's one of those unconscious things that makes a safe situation feel unsafe.
Yeah. And it had been building up for whatever reason. It had been building up, and then that was where it just transpired.
Yeah, it's one of these conversations I was having yesterday with a couple of the ladies, is that I was a hypnotherapist for 20 years, and I spent a lot of time working with people with anxiety, sleep issues, confidence issues, making changes, all of those things. And I spent 20 years doing it. And now I've moved into something else, but the same principles apply. We all have these things.
Oh, Nick's in the chat, isn't he? Nick, I've got a request. Please get Heather on the tap chat, because she is so interesting. She really is. I want to know more about Heather.
Sure. Do you really want to know?
I hope he
Yeah,
heard
we
that.
want to know, Heather.
I can hear the tape gun going in the other room, so I hope he heard
Oh,
that.
you have to relay it then, Andrew, please. That's a special request.
Oh.
I'm looking at the chat here.
Yeah, I'm
I have
okay.
to say, I found that really interesting because I didn't know you were a hypnotherapist, Heather.
Yeah, I did it for about 20 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was wonderful, very rewarding and very intense. But I had hypnotherapy myself to deal with stress and issues I had when I was in my early 30s. And then I trained to be a hypnotherapist and worked privately from home for many, many years and did love it, absolutely loved it.
Why did you stop?
Because I got into eBay and you can't, and also when you've got a kid and everything, it's difficult to have clients and try and work the times during the day and everything. And
Yeah.
I think I just came to a point of feeling I need the next phase of my life to be something different.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if we can get, because Nick's not here, so shh. If we can get Heather on the tap chat.
He is. He says no problem. Always welcome.
Oh, I was going to say, Andrea, have you got any requests that what Heather could hypnotise Nick to do?
Washing up.
Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
does it not? Oh, damn.
If it did, I'd be very rich by now.
What about, I mean, they're not allowed to do it in advertising anymore, are they? But them subliminal messages they used to put in, can't we just all edit it, little clips somehow? I don't know how to do it. Into our YouTube videos.
I don't even edit videos. I'm so crap at the tech. So.
But hypnotherapy doesn't even work on everybody anyway, does it? Don't you have to be receptive to it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I went to a hypnotherapy session and I was there for an hour, and the guy said that I wasn't the type to be hypnotized.
Similarly, I went and had a few sessions, and it was like I was just too freaking I can't think of the word, cynical, not receptive to it. It just didn't help me.
And too self-conscious as well, I think, of just like, you know, not being able to relax in front of someone else and very aware of surroundings all the time.
I think it's very important who you're with and whether you're comfortable with them. Because as you say, particularly when you've got a critical mind, you need to be able to really, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis anyway. So if you're not in a comfortable environment with the right person, it's not gonna, probably not gonna work. And not everybody wants to be hypnotized, really.
I've tried those ones, you know, that you're meant to listen to help you get to sleep. So I've been listening to them, and they're like, you know, okay, clench your toes and breathe in, all of this stuff. And I just find them really irritating.
Yeah, totally. Me too.
Yeah, they wake me up more rather than put me to sleep.
You wake up annoyed, don't you? Like, skip. I've done the toes. Can we just go straight to the next bit?
Yeah, I used to have clients with those sorts of issues, and you just have to work in a very different way, completely different way. Yeah,
I was going to ask, is it very similar to meditation?
There are things in common with meditation and yoga. There are things in common. The state you're getting into is different, though, I think.
Okay.
It's just the altered level of consciousness.
Right.
I just don't think I'm deep enough.
I've always been one of these people who's been fascinated by trance states and places you go to in your head and how you can make things happen and change stuff. Ever since I was a kid, it's always been my speciality. So when I eventually became a hypnotherapist, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is it.
I think I've got too many control issues to be hypnotized. I don't think anyone will be able to hypnotize me because of my control.
That's the funny thing, though, because it is actually giving you more control over stuff that's unconscious. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite control freaky as well, but once I realized I could make it work for me, then it was like, oh, okay. Yeah,
there seems to be a campaign to hypnotise Steve Green to do the chicken dance on YouTube.
And he's up for it.
He's up for it, yeah, of course he's up for it.
Dee, anytime you want to dress up in your little chicken outfit in your loft, it's fine. You can do it anytime. You don't need Heather to help you with that.
Just put it on camera, put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Live chicken in the loft.
And listen, you chick, my default setting is trance state. Absolutely. It's where a lot of the magical stuff comes from as well. You know, where all that sort of work comes from.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a different world.
I just don't give myself enough time just to be these days. I'm either, you know, if I'm working, I'm listening to the radio or a podcast, and then I'm watching the TV, and then I just don't give myself enough of my own headspace these days.
Yeah.
I must admit, that's why I like Pilates, because you control your breathing in Pilates. And you know what? I was about to say to you, Shelley, when we were talking about it, it really does clear your brain. Whether it does anything for your inner core and all that stuff, don't know yet. Not noticed any results, but do you know what? I come out of there and I feel all refreshed.
Yeah, it really does.
Whether the stretchy stuff works or not, I may be doing it completely wrong. Who knows? But
yeah,
I feel relaxed.
Yeah.
But stretching releases certain, quite like my friend, endorphins and stuff, doesn't it? Or chemicals that, like, when you yawn and stretch in the morning, it helps you. Over to someone else, because I think that's my friend at the door. I have to let her in.
Oh, right.
Karen, I was thinking the same in my last class. I was thinking that I just love that hour because it allows me just to stop and have an hour's space. And although I'm being told what to do, I don't have to think about what to do. You know, somebody's counting how many exercises I do. There's lovely music on. I can just, you know, be with it and not think about other things for an hour. So
that's its value, to be fair. I do an hour and a half yoga every week and I love it. I come out of there, oh, hello, this
Little one.
No swearing now. Blimey.
Small person. Small.
Oh. Very cute indeed. We have reached the end of our hour. And a bit, actually. We've gone slightly over, but and we have the arrival of a small person who probably wants some attention. Oh. So shall we wrap it up here, ladies?
Yeah, thanks for hosting, Heather.
Yeah, well done, Heather. Enjoyed it.
Thank you for the help with setting it all up and everything. We finally did it, so I'm happy to do it again anytime.
Fantastic.
Can I say, I'm happy to host next week, but if anybody's got any subject ideas that they want to message about, sorry, shouting, then pop something over to one of us or in the chat.
Cool.
Did you order that off Amazon, Shell?
You are?
Did you order that off Amazon?
Yeah, there was like a return out there, and this little baby.
Oh dear, how sweet. Okay, so same time, same place next week with the Reseller Ladies Live. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to the people in the chat. I've been a bit tardy about keeping up with it because it's on the phone and it means I keep staring down into a corner. Thanks for your contributions and get back to work, a lot of you. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.